Well, a rainy day in store for us here inside of the state of South Carolina. We had some rainfall this morning. I was driving out this morning. We did have some rainfall. Did have some rainfall going throughout the state. Not only that, but also, it wasn't as cool this morning as well, and it's not going to be really that cool tonight either, especially if you're near the coastal areas. Now, maybe even the upstate, maybe a little bit cooler, but it's not really that cool. In fact, I have the AC going on right now. Also, we're going to talk about some more rainfall that's also going to occur as we go into Friday night, going into Saturday, and temperatures will be slightly below normal to maybe a bit average as we go late week due to cloud cover and rainfall. All of that we're going to go in and talk about tonight. But before we get to that, make sure you go and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, as it is free to do so. What is going on right now throughout the entire state of South Carolina? Well, right now we are talking about nice, dry conditions, no rainfall right now going on throughout the entire state of South Carolina. But if we scroll our way out, see what's going on throughout the entire U.S., we have rainfall, we have snowfall going on. Rainfall going on over here in New York, going on throughout Pennsylvania. We also do have some rainfall going on in Virginia, also some severe weather in North Carolina, and rainfall also over here inside of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, and then even some more severe weather going on inside of Texas. We do also have some rainfall going on in South Dakota, Nebraska, Colorado, and just over in the West and the Midwest in general, going into the Great Lakes area. We are seeing that rainfall throughout most of the entire U.S. Now, what about if we talk about our cloud cover? Cloud cover right now, we see some in the upstate, we see some in the Midlands, Low Country, Grand Strand, PD, not as much, but you do see a lot of that cloud cover going on in the upstate. And one thing I will say about this cloud cover is as we push forward into tonight, going into tomorrow morning, we still will see this cloud cover. Remember, the blue is the cloud cover, the white is the clear skies. And you still see this cloud cover, even once we get to around 12 o'clock p.m., going into around 4 o'clock p.m., going into tomorrow. And then as we move through Thursday night, going into Friday morning, still cloud cover exists, still cloud cover remains as we go into Friday afternoon. Now, for our current temperatures right now, we're talking about 70s statewide. 70 statewide. We're talking about 73 in Orangeburg, 76 Aiken, 71 Charleston, 73 Beaufort, 71 in Somerville, 69 in Conway, Myrtle Beach, 74 Florence, 72 in Lancaster, 73 Spartanburg, Gaffney, 72 in Greenville, 74 Anderson. And if we go on and look at our air quality for tonight, air quality is looking good as well. We're not talking about any sort of moderate activity, any sort of unhealthy for sensitive groups, or unhealthy in general. We are all good for tonight. Now, what about for our low temperatures? I just said as we started off that the upstate may be a little bit cooler, and we're seeing 58 in Greenville, 59 Spartanburg, 59 Rock Hill. But watch as you get more into the Midlands. Watch as you get more into the coastal areas. We're talking about 66 in Charleston, 68 Hilton Head Island, 63 Georgetown, 62 Kingstree, 63 in Columbia, and 63 also inside of Aiken, as well as 60 in Cheraw. And then as well as our high temperatures as we move into tomorrow, we're talking about 77 in Greenville, 76 Spartanburg, 76 Rock Hill, 76 Sumter, 77 from Walterboro to Charleston to Moncks Corner to 74 in Myrtle Beach, Now, all of that's good and all, and we're talking about good temperatures, rather if you're a 70s person, a 60s person, high 50s person. But the main thing that most people in the state are talking about right now is this rainfall. We're talking about around a good 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch for a good amount of the state. Rock Hill, Spartanburg, Winnsboro, Columbia, Kingstree, or at least near Kingstree, Georgetown, Myrtle Beach. Then we have a 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch for Kingstree, for Moncks Corner, for Charleston, for Aiken, and then a quarter of an inch to a half an inch. That's for Hilton Head Island. That's for Walterboro. And somebody in that area may even receive a half an inch to an inch. Where? Only time will tell. But for right now, it looks like it may be more in the southern Midlands right now. Now for the SPC outlook, obviously we still have this marginal risk that we had this morning, and it's still there. Did not change. Nothing has moved. Nothing has really shifted too much, but we still have it. That's for the southern low country. That's for the northern upstate going into the northern PD areas. And the risk is still there for damaging winds and that potential as well, potentially for damaging hail. Let's go on and look at the official risk as right now it does seem like, for the most part, that wind risk is still there. In fact, they actually just updated it just now. So let's go on and get the more up-to-date one up on the screen. And here's what it looks like. Definitely a huge change now. Definitely a huge change. They literally just updated this like a couple of minutes ago. But we still have that marginal risk of severe weather down there in the southern parts of the state. Still, that marginal risk is still there. The upstate one, that one's gone. But the southern one down here, damaging winds, are still possible. And I think that goes more into tonight. Tomorrow, thunderstorms are possible over there near Hilton Head Island. Everybody else, we should be in the clear. And then Friday, the first day of May, we're talking about thunderstorm activity potentially in the low country, maybe the southern Midlands, but it's not bad. It's not the worst. Not the worst. Fire weather is not expected at this time. Again, fire weather is not expected at this time. If you do remember, yesterday we were talking about it. And I said that the South Carolina Forestry Commission lifted the ban in 7 counties, or 12 counties, 12. That was Pickens, Oconee, Anderson, Abbeville, Greenwood, Lawrence, Greenville, Spartanburg, Cherokee, Union, Chester, and York. These areas, their burn ban was lifted today, this morning at 7 a.m. Luckily, another 7 counties will be lifted off of this burn ban as we go into tomorrow. Tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. So those 7 counties are Fairfield, Newberry, as well as Greenwood, McCormick, Edgefield, Saluda, Lexington, and Richland. Those counties are now lifted. They will be out. Of the burn ban for when we get into tomorrow morning. As it says, agency officials believe the combination of rain and elevated relative humidity stretching from the Midlands to the upstate warrant removing Edgefield, Fairfield, Newberry, Lexington, McCormick, Richland, and Saluda counties from the outdoor burning restriction. Everybody else, from Lancaster to Kershaw to Sumter, Calhoun, and Orangeburg, as well as Aiken counties, everybody else west or east and south of those counties there still have a burn ban. So you have the entire low country, the entire PD areas, the Grand Strand areas, the southern Midlands are still under that burn ban. So still do not burn anything if you are inside of those areas. Now, if we go on and look at the excessive rainfall outlook, no excessive rainfall is expected at this time. So we are good there. And so let's go on and look at the crazy score. Crazy score for tonight, we're at a 36. Why? Well, increasing clouds become mostly cloudy overnight, especially as we get into tomorrow. Chance of showers increasing later tonight, especially after midnight. Highest in the southern and the more like low country, more western Midland areas. Those areas definitely we'll have to be watching out for some of that shower activity, not only as you get throughout tonight, but as you get into tomorrow morning as well. Winds aren't that bad, temperatures aren't that bad either. It's overall just looking like it's going to be a pretty moderate night tonight at this point. More mild, moderate, kind of like in between there. Now, if we go and look at the models, Time is at the bottom part of your screen. Make sure that you are paying attention to that, because if you lose track of this time, there is a good chance that you will miss something. So make sure that you are paying attention, because as we go forward into tonight, we're going to be talking about some shower activity that goes on throughout not only the low country, but watch throughout the Grand Strand areas. 2 o'clock in the morning, we're seeing rainfall. Now, as we go all the way into around 5 o'clock in the morning or so, going all the way to around 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning or so, we're talking about this main band moving in, and it's going to come in and just completely sweep through the state as around 7 a.m., going to around 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning as well. And then it's going to be out of here as we get to around 12 p.m., going to around 1, 2 to 3 p.m. or so. And then it's going to be dry. I mean, we're talking about nice dry conditions as we go into Thursday night for the most part. I mean, Thursday evening may bring some shower activity in the upstate a little bit, maybe a bit of the Midlands. But then as we get into Friday morning, what are we looking at? More rainfall activity as we get into Friday at around 2 o'clock p.m. So we're seeing a huge influx of this rainfall as it moves its way in tonight, going into tomorrow morning, and definitely make sure that you are aware of this. If you're going out tomorrow morning, rather it be for work, rather it be for yard work, rather it be for dropping kids off to school, rather if it's your kids going to the bus stop, it doesn't matter. Make sure that you are handy with that rain gear that you need for this. Now, if we go on and look at the GFS model, the GFS obviously being the more longer term, the one that we talk about after we're done with the short term. We go in and push through all the way around Friday going into Saturday. And what do we see Saturday? Heavy rainfall activity. This right here is what we want to see. This right here is what we want to see, because as we move all the way through into Saturday, 5 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning as well, and look all the way to 11. Look at that heavy rainfall going on throughout the low country. Just such a beautiful sight right here to see. Just great rainfall that's going on throughout the state as we go into this weekend. I mean, just fantastic. Now, if we go all the way through Saturday night going into Sunday things start to calm down. It gets, back to being dry. But Monday comes along, still dry. Tuesday, okay, see some showers in the vicinity, but not too bad. Wednesday brings some heat. Brings some heat a little bit with some rainfall from the west. Continue to move its way east. Thursday, we have some more rainfall. And honestly, these just look like some more frontal systems trying to move through. We get through Friday. We have a high pressure that comes in next week, Friday. And we actually stay dry all the way through Saturday, Sunday. But then Monday comes along here, not next week Monday, but the week after, going into Monday, May the 11th. And we have some rainfall trying to move its way through as we continue through even into the midweek as well. Now, I know that's 300 hours out, but that's just what the current deterministic models are showing right now. Now, if we go and look at the dew points real quick, because I do want to see what's going on in terms of these cold fronts, and we can probably go and look at the wind barbs as well. But, I mean, you definitely can see the cold front moving through as we go into tomorrow. Kind of obvious to see there. It doesn't really bring too much of a lasting impact. The one front that I'm kind of watching for is obviously the one where we kind of go into next week. Look at this. As we go into Thursday, going into Friday, high pressure takes over, and we have a cold front that tries to sweep through as we go into later next week. So that's going to move through, and it's going to cause us some drier conditions, going to cause winds, obviously, to be breezy, going to cause us to get some showers, some storm activity, and honestly, it's just a huge blur after that because everything else is just way too far out for us to really even talk about. And if I bring you back over to the Crazy Score screen and I go switch my screens over, I mean, you can see obviously as we go into here, here we go. You can see obviously as we get to right here, I mean, we see as of Thursday 060. There goes the cold front right there, and we move through Thursday. And yes, there is a cold front that's going to try and move its way throughout. Obviously, as we get throughout tomorrow, getting into Friday. Now, like I said, it won't really have too much of an impact, but you can definitely see a little stationary front down there over in Louisiana, over in Texas, over in Mississippi, over inside Alabama, and that's going to bring some thunderstorm activity to them. Really just rainfall for us. Now, what about for our accumulation, like our actual totals in terms of this rainfall? Well, we're going to go on and look at the ensemble. We're going to look at the GEFS first, and then we'll go on and look at the European one because we usually don't look at the European often. So we're going to show the European some appreciation because as we go all the way through into May the 15th, this is mid-May right here. We're talking about around a good inch, 2 inches or so, probably more like an inch and a half, all the way up to 2 inches. Not the most, and definitely will not get rid of this drought. Not drought breaking at all, but it will go on and definitely relieve some of those conditions, which is why we're starting to see those burn bans start to be lifted, because not only is humidity increasing, but also we are seeing that rainfall actually start to trickle in. But this is definitely not going to be enough to get rid of the drought. The drought that's right here, this will be here for a good little while. We go over to the European ensemble. The European ensemble, let's go to the 12Z real quick. Goes around 360 hours out. The European gives us around a good 2 to 2.5, maybe even 3 inches of rainfall as we go throughout the next 300 to 400 hours or so. So hopefully the European one happens and we get the more rainfall here, but we'll see what happens, obviously. If we go for the forecast from the actual National Weather Service or the Weather Prediction Center, what they have here is they are showing us having around a good inch and a half as we go throughout the next 7 days. So this goes through Wednesday, May the 6th at 8 o'clock p.m. And you can see definitely for sure an inch and a half. So that's what we have to say here in terms of our precipitation. Totals wise, in terms of our temperature anomalies here. As we go on and push this forward, you are seeing cooler air start to move its way through. I mean, we have like a little system that's impacting us right now. That's going to bring us some cooler weather. Even as you get into around Friday as well, cooler weather coming through. Even as you get into Saturday, look at this, will be 25 degrees below average. And yes, it is 25 degrees below average, but does 25 degrees below average necessarily mean it's going to be cold? Absolutely not. I mean, we have 50s. 50s for highs. I mean, 50s, that is pretty cold for some highs, but I mean, 50s just in general, I mean, is that really too cold? Again, for highs, that may be a bit cold. But the actual temperature is not that bad, and compared to like 40s and 30s. Now, it will get down to the 40s the night of, though, as you go all the way into Sunday morning. We go into Sunday afternoon, and again, just seeing these cooler temperatures. So air conditioners will get another break this weekend. And heat maybe having to go on as we go throughout this weekend going into next week. Even as you go into the end parts of next week, we're going to start talking about more warm-ups, more air conditioning as we get into the end parts of next week. We go to around Wednesday, going into Thursday. We see, we're a bit high up there, but watch out. Another cold front coming through as we get into the end of next week. And it's just that same cold front pattern over and over and over again where we get warmer, and then watch as we get later. Another cold front pops up. And so that's this pattern that we're in right now. We are in a flip-flop pattern of cold fronts moving through, and then after the cold front moves through, it warms up, but then another cold front rolls through right afterwards. Now, if we go on and look at the official temperatures as well, not just the anomalies, we go obviously into tonight, going into tomorrow. Obviously, we know what tomorrow is going to be like. But then watch as we get into Saturday. Saturday comes along, and we're talking about highs only in the 50s. We were just talking about this. The upstate actually may be a bit warmer than like the low country or the Midlands or the Grand Strand, the PD areas. Now, as you get through Sunday, obviously, we know that Sunday morning, Saturday night, it's going to be a bit cooler, like 40s. But we will see some 70s coming on. We get all the way into around Sunday 70s. Even as you go into the Sunday night time period, going into Monday morning, we're seeing some more 40s, some more 50s or so. Monday during the day comes along, and we're seeing some more 70s and 80s actually coming along. Tuesday comes along, some more 80s, some more 50s and 60s for lows. Maybe some mid to upper 80s as we get into the end parts of next week. Oh, and what is this right here? Trying to reach up into the 90s, but you can't quite make it because another cold front's rolling through. Yes, that is exactly what's going on. As you get all the way through Thursday, going into Friday, look at this, more 40s coming down throughout the state as you get into the end of next week. And then one more thing, looking at the ensembles here for the GEFS. We go in and look at the mean temperatures here as we get around 200 hours out or so. And one thing I will say, as we get more and more into May, into the mid parts of May, it's definitely still looking pretty warm. I mean, we're still seeing a good amount of 80s, and it actually may be warming up as we get more and more into the middle parts of May. But that's 300 to 400 hours out. That's going to have to wait. But that's all that I have to say here. Remember, drought monitor update will be tomorrow. This is what the current drought looks like if you want to know. Yes, we are inside of a drought right now. The prediction will be out tomorrow. Remember, the options are obviously the drought has expanded, the drought has shrunken or stayed the same, the drought is gone, but the abnormally dry is staying, or the abnormally dry and the drought is gone. And I can already tell you that those two options, the last two, are definitely not the answer. So you have a 50-50 shot tomorrow. And honestly, I'm kind of interested myself to see what the answer is going to be, as I'm going to make my prediction tomorrow as well. So make sure that you're there for that. Let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what this audience has to say for tonight. Starting off with my Aunt Lewis. She says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Today in Georgetown, Ohio is around 77. Well, thank you so much for that weather report. Currently, it's around 70. In Georgetown, we started out pretty cloudy. However, it did clear up. Honestly, yeah, same thing at my house. It was cloudy this morning. Then as we went more and more into the evening, it definitely did clear up. Definitely did clear up. But it honestly wasn't until later. Because honestly, I was looking outside around 4 or 5 o'clock. And it was still cloudy outside. So currently at my house right now, it's around 71. The high temperature for today was around 85. 85. I think that may be another heat bias. I mean, we'll see real quick. Well, Mr. Chris said he got to around 82, so maybe not too bad of a heat bias. Mr. Anthony says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. And then Mr. Chris says, good evening, everyone. Hope you had a great day. Got to around 82 degrees here in Moncks Corner. Currently, it's around 74. Started off cloudy, but cleared up after 3. Please remember to go and hit the like button and the subscribe button. Also, share with everyone that you know. It's free, and it helps the channel grow, absolutely. Right now, we have around a good 14 people that have tuned in and only 6 likes. If you are a part of that group of 8 that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. Then Milo again said we had no rain, even though it looked like it was going to rain. It did not rain at my house today, at least. Or no, yes it did. It did this morning. I take that back. For some reason, my I don't think my weather station caught it, because I think we've been having some stuff being done. And so my weather, that's why I've been having all these heat bias issues and all that kind of stuff, because my weather station kind of going all over the place right now, because some stuff's being done right now. And yeah, I guess it didn't catch the rain from today, but it did rain this morning. It did rain this morning for sure at my house. Mr. Grissom had a small shower first thing this morning, same. All in all, the sun came out beautifully. Thank you so much for that update. Very comfortable today. Here in Georgetown, it's warm at the moment. Then my Nana says, hello, Jay. Hello to you. Continue our way down. Thad says, hello, Joseph in the 360 weather family. Well, good evening to you. I trust all is well. All is well with me. Very comfortable in Moncks Corner at the moment. Clear skies and light wind. My Nana says, a nice day. A little warm this afternoon. Thank you so much for that weather report for where you are. Looking forward to the rain. I need it for my garden. And then Thad says, it was a relatively mild day today. Not a lot of sunshine, mostly cloudy, no rainfall. Thank you so much for that weather report. Mr. Chris says, I'm going to try and cut my grass tomorrow if the rain holds off until I finish. And then my Aunt Lewis says, well, hopefully the burn ban will be lifted for our area soon. Churro says, greetings, everyone. Greetings to you. I pray it doesn't get bad like in 07 and 08 where the lake was almost dry. 50s are cold for me. And then, yes, that's true for me as well. 50s is always better than 30s or 40s. Absolutely. 50s is always better than 30s and 40s. But, obviously some people are different. Some people are different, have different cool weather, different, like, types of what they define to be cold weather. Some people don't see it cold until it gets to around 30s, 20s. But then some, think it's cool at 60s. But that's all that I can see here for the chat. But don't worry, because we have a question tonight that could get you 3 extra points on the top fans of the night for tonight. So, hey, if you want to participate, be ready to type it in. Hopefully you were paying attention, because if you were, and you were here during the models, during the short-term models, you could potentially get this correct. And this question is, what was the exact time that I said that the first band of showers would be moving in tomorrow morning throughout the state? That's what I'm talking about, throughout the state of South Carolina. Whoever gets it first, you get an extra 3 points. And it has to be the exact time, not like, oh, you said it was gonna be like late morning, early morning. No, it had to be at around that time of the exact time, the exact time. But let's go and talk about the 4 areas outside of South Carolina, and we'll get back to that. We're talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these 4 areas is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly, and because they tune in almost nightly, they go on and get a forecast from us because of their support. Starting off with San Antonio first, you have low temperatures tonight at 68, high temperature for tomorrow at 82, low temperatures tomorrow night at 65. Severe thunderstorms are possible tonight, so make sure that you are aware of that. Also, what are your threats? I mean, what's going on in terms of the severe weather? Because obviously you have that for tonight. You actually have a pretty good risk of severe weather, as you are in the slight risk. You have a 2% chance of tornadoes, a 5% chance of damaging winds, and a 15% hatch risk of damaging hail, meaning that you pretty much have a good amount of hail of potentially up to 2 inches in diameter that may try to move towards you. Now, you do have a severe thunderstorm warning to your west near Nipah and near Sabinal, Texas, moving towards Hondo and Castroville and Divine. Those areas towards your west and south. But will it make it to you? Will you even get severe weather tonight? I mean, you also have a bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings even further west than that. Now, what about for your, obviously for tomorrow night, we're talking about a slight chance of thunderstorms there, and then showers are expected tomorrow night as well. Now, if we go on and check out our excessive rainfall, or your excessive rainfall, I just say our because, I kind of include it. It does look like right now that you do have a risk for excessive rainfall tonight, but especially tomorrow. I mean, you're talking about a slight risk of excessive rainfall for tomorrow, meaning scattered flash flooding tomorrow and Friday. Tomorrow and Friday. But then once you get to around Saturday and Sunday, things definitely start to die down. Now, as you go more and more into your future, it does look like that you will continue to kind of be on the decline in terms of temperatures. Friday, you'll be down to around 69. But watch as you go into Saturday, Sunday. Temperatures are going to start rising back up into the 70s, and by the time you know it, by midweek next week, you're back up into the 80s. Rainfall, though, once you're done with Friday night, you're pretty much good. Then for Raleigh, North Carolina, and oh my gosh, I think I did this backwards. We're just going to show this one. For Raleigh, North Carolina, you have low temperatures tonight at 57, high temperature for tomorrow at 76, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 49. Showers are likely. Showers are likely as you get into tonight, so make sure that you are aware of that. Also, severe weather, excessive rainfall, not the worst. You have nothing there. Excessive rainfall for you, nothing here either. Now, for your future, it does look like that you will continue to kind of be on the decline as well. We're talking about high temperatures on Saturday being at 60, 68 on Sunday. But then don't worry, like I said, same thing for San Antonio. You'll be back up into the 80s next week. Let me see if we had any responses. Mr. Chris says 7 a.m. That is wrong. That is incorrect. So you can, try again. I haven't seen anybody else, so you may honestly just be by yourself for this one. But 7 a.m. not the correct time. For Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at 50, high temperature for tomorrow at 67, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 45. Showers are expected tonight. Tomorrow, though, no precipitation. Now, in terms of your severe weather, in terms of your excessive rainfall for right now, it does look like that you are looking good in terms of that. And then if we go on and look at your risk for the future for excessive rainfall, it looks like that you're good there as well. So you're good for both. And then if we go on and check out your let me go ahead and get that right here. If you go on and check out your official 7-day forecast for you, I mean, it does look like that you will continue to kind of be on the cool down as well. We're talking about 64 on Friday, 60 on Saturday, 61 on Sunday, and then 73 also on Tuesday. Now, you will continue to also kind of stay dry for Sunday going into Monday, but that's really your only dry spot. And then finally, for Duncan, Oklahoma, you have low temperatures tonight at 51, high temperature for tomorrow at 66, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 51. Chance of showers tomorrow and tomorrow night, but no precipitation is expected tonight. Severe weather and excessive rainfall for you is not expected. And then in terms of your future, it does look like that you will continue to kind of just be on the upward trend to where you're going to be near 90 degrees by the middle of next week. And that's all for these 4 areas here. So let's go on now and check out. The official weather forecast for the entire U.S. Weather news, what's going on? Well, severe thunderstorms will continue tonight from Texas to the central Gulf Coast, with scattered damaging winds and large hail as the main threats. Heavy to excessive rainfall is also expected over portions of central Texas on Thursday, shifting into eastern Texas to the central Gulf Coast on Friday. Some freezing temperatures are going to be ongoing in Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and even over in Idaho and Utah. But that's really the only thing that I can see here. Maybe some winter storm warnings over here inside of northern New Mexico and parts of Colorado, but everybody else looks pretty good. So let's go in and check out the chat. Yep, you got it. Mr. Chris says 5 o'clock in the morning. That was the time that I said. So you get the extra 3 points for tonight. We will go on and count those up right now. So let me go in and count and see what I have. I see around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then, honestly, me just going down real quick, yeah, you easily won it for tonight. You definitely have won for tonight. Maya Lou is at number 2. And then Thad is at number 3. So congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans of the night for tonight. If you want to be a part of the top fans, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Also being here, being a subscriber, being here early, being active. If you do all of those things, you will most likely be in the top fans. And watch out. Make sure you're paying attention, because there may be some times where I may just drop some bonus points here or there. And you may get, obviously, that higher recognition. That may push you up to the top. It's happened before. That's all, though. Make sure that you tune in tomorrow morning for your Thursday morning forecast update from me. Let me check my email. We did get some pictures tonight. Hold on. Let me go ahead and show these real quick. These are from Mr. Chris. He says, first off, weather at around 2:45 here inside of Moncks Corner. Well, here it is right here. So thank you so much for this picture right here. You see the dark clouds over here. You can see there is some clearing going on, though. There is some clearing. I remember you said it was trying to clear up by around 3 o'clock. And then he said a beautiful full moon here at around 9 o'clock p.m. And that's all. So if you want to go in and send me a picture, you can by sending it to scweather360@gmail.com. Again, that is scweather360@gmail.com. Or you can send it to me on Twitter at 360_weather. That's all. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Make sure you're there tomorrow evening for your Thursday evening forecast update and the drought monitor update. Also Friday evening. Remember, May forecast update is on Friday evening. You want to be there for that, as we're going to be talking about a good amount of stuff. I'll be back tomorrow. Hit those 2 buttons before you leave.